As a therapist, you quickly come to the realization that no one rides through this life for free. What I mean by this is that we're all going to experience trauma and pain at some point in our lives. And if you're human, you're also going to try to avoid feeling that pain. As a result of this avoidance, we all develop a little bit of craziness within ourselves. The technical term is pathology. This can look like being a people pleaser, avoiding confrontation, having control issues, or maybe you can never be wrong and you defend your shitty ideas to the death. Pathology is the armor we've developed throughout our years of experiencing various degrees of trauma, disappointment, and just general hard shit. It's the behaviors and ways of thinking we engage in because we think it has the power to protect us from being hurt. Our perfectionism, our anger, our excessive worrying, and our trust and commitment issues are all signs of pathology. While we create this armor to protect us, it doesn't come without penalty. What if I told you that our armor, the craziness we employ to avoid our pain, isn't actually protecting us? And that not exploring our traumas prevents us from being the partners, the parents, the professionals, and the people we want to be. What is going on, everybody? It's nice to see your beautiful faces. My name is John Burt, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And in today's video, we're talking about why you, yes you, need therapy. I'll see you on the other side of the intro. So, there seems to be a stigma about talking about our emotional struggles. We could talk to anyone about our physical health. We can even talk to anyone about our sexual escapades. But talk to someone about our anxiety or our depression or our grief, and that's a level of comfort we don't have with a lot of people. But that's where a therapist comes in. You see, therapy is all about leaning into that discomfort. This is an element that we don't find in a lot of our relationships nowadays. Therapists get off on the idea of helping someone address their insecurities, talk about their vulnerabilities, and explore their deep histories. It literally turns us on to help you achieve your goals. So let's talk about and lay a foundation of what therapy actually is. Pain is inevitable. If you're not going through something painful right now, then life has a funny way of bringing it to your doorstep. Now, I know that sounds a little morbid, and I apologize, but there's a point to make here. If you're anything like me, or most people, then you deal with your problems by covering it up. But that's where therapy comes in. When life happens, therapy helps us confront our demons when they pay us a visit. These can be big demons or small demons, old demons or new demons, loud demons or quiet demons. Psychiatrist Irvin Yalom defines therapy as a truth-seeking venture. It's a journey of inward exploration that employs the magic of curiosity. That's to say that therapy keeps us in a state of learning and asking questions about ourselves. It helps us develop a deeper level of our own self-awareness. Many people begin therapy more curious about others than themselves, wondering why all the people in their lives happen to be assholes, or why every man they date only wants them for sex. Throughout each session, a therapist sprinkles little seeds of curiosity onto the client. Now, I know the idea of sprinkling curiosity on each session sounds corny, but it's important because therapy can't help people that aren't curious about themselves. And this is where a lot of our struggles in therapy begin, because curiosity and self-awareness scare the shit out of us. It requires people to see themselves in ways they normally choose not to. And people don't like talking about their fears, inadequacies, or vulnerabilities. But that's where a lot of their problems lie. So, what do our fears look like exactly? I'm glad you asked. We are afraid of being hurt, and we're afraid of being humiliated. We are afraid of failure and of success. We're afraid of being alone, and we're afraid of deep connection. We are afraid of listening to what our heart's telling us. We are afraid of being unhappy, and we're afraid of being too happy. We're afraid of not having our parents' approval, and we are afraid of accepting ourselves for who we really are. We are afraid of having hope for things we might not get. We are afraid of change, and we are afraid of not changing. We are afraid of how briefly we are alive, and how long we will be dead. We are afraid of not having control, and we are afraid of being responsible for our own lives. Sometimes it takes a while for us to admit our fears, especially to ourselves. So what are you afraid of? When we start to gain self-awareness, we start to uncover some deep shit. And when we get close to that deep shit, our body responds with fears and anxieties. It's a literal feeling like we're going to die. As a result, we shut down, and this prevents us from exploring these topics. What a therapist is there to help you do is grab your hand and help you navigate through this deep shit more confidently. Finally, one of the most important steps in therapy is helping people take responsibility for their current difficulties. This involves understanding that responsibility helps people realize that only they can generate the change they came to therapy seeking. This is important to note because the opposite of curiosity and responsibility is avoidance, and that's a lane that many of us naturally gravitate towards. Often people carry around the belief that they are not the cause of a majority of their problems, and this is unfortunate because it steers them away from addressing their issues. People who choose not to address their problems are what I like to call difficult people. These are the people we label as assholes, toxic, douchebags, and the world is full of them. I'm 100% certain that currently, in someone else's eyes, I'm probably seen as a difficult person, but don't worry, because your ass is too. Difficult people are people who don't explore themselves. As a result, difficult people only learn by going through difficulty, living one nightmare after another, their actions causing so much pain to not only themselves, but the people around them. Because they haven't dealt with the problems of their past, they carry around the traumas, pains, and craziness with them wherever they go. Their trust issues, inability to apologize, and need to always be right goes unnoticed by them, and only them, because the people that surround them are well aware of their craziness. This is what we call a blind spot, and we all have them. What therapy does is highlight our blind spots. A therapist holds up a mirror so we can view our difficulties and blind spots, but it's up to us to look at that reflection. Ooh, that was corny. Ooh. Therapists go to see other therapists. It's a requirement that we all have as a part of our training to get our hours towards our professional license. This is so that we have a firsthand knowledge of what our future clients are going to experience when they come to see us for therapy. During this time, we learn how to accept feedback, tolerate discomfort, become aware of our blind spots, and discover the impact of our behaviors on ourselves and other people as well. I went to therapy thinking I was God's gift to earth. Ain't no problems here, baby. I'm fine. I'm perfect. It's going to be quick and it's going to be easy. But therapy has a funny way of humbling us. I found out and I understood that I am crazy just like the rest of you. Therapy helped me understand and realize that I had some difficult traits. I was controlling, naturally selfish and lazy outside of work, and I wasn't as good as a lover as I thought I was going into a new marriage. My therapist didn't guilt or shame me about these things. She was there to understand how I felt. She held up a mirror to me in the most compassionate way possible. What therapy gave me was a person who wanted to understand how I felt. As a result, she was a person I could open up to, who I could cry in front of, and a person I was able to talk to about any and everything. She gave me an example of not only what a therapist was supposed to be, but a human. I was seen, known, and loved by a person who got a front row seat to all of my imperfections. The act of revealing myself fully to another person and to still be accepted greatly changed me as a person. Our time together helped me learn how to better see, know, and love others. And I think this is one of the most important gifts that therapy can offer not just me, but anyone who does therapy, a sense of unconditional positive regard for other people. So, that about wraps up everything I wanted to say in this video. If you made it this far, I appreciate you greatly. If there's something that you're struggling with right now, there's a lot going on in the world, maybe consider seeing a therapist. Also, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It would benefit my self-esteem and personal self-image, so I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Pop it in there.
You ready?
Yeah. Ow! Why'd you bite it?
I'm sorry. Throughout each session, a therapist sprinkles little seeds of curiosity. Stop laughing. This is, I'm trying my best.
Let me read it for you.
No, I got it. If you're anything like me, then you deal with your pain by covering it up. Therapy, shut up, Emily.
I'm not laughing.
You're such an asshole.
I'm not laughing.
Damn.